This week we're going to start reading a wonderful collection of stories that are very astronomical in nature, the science fiction solar system. And we're starting with the sun. Please be sure when you read these stories to also read the science-based preface before each story. The editor goes very carefully through what was known when the story was written and how that should affect our interpretation or understanding of the science. Now, of course, we cannot fly into the sun, and Jeff is going to let us know when there are some real crazy ideas that he thinks would never be possible. But remember, in science fiction, all things are possible. Other aspects to watch out for in The Weather and the Sun is the idea that humans can control nature, that they can in fact have weather control, which we are very far from having right now. We even have trouble sometimes predicting weather. So this story is very ambitious in its view of humans, and we will be talking more about the sun and its properties as we understand them today in the live blogs.
Actually, this story is based on a true physics problem and mystery, which started in the 1960s when the first measurements of neutrinos from the sun were made. Neutrinos are manufactured in the center of the sun, where the energy is being produced by fusion of hydrogen atoms into helium atoms. And while we cannot see directly into the center of the sun, the neutrinos, one of their characteristics is that they can tunnel through almost anything. And they come flying straight out of the sun to us. And we've built these huge neutrino detectors in the bottom of mines to try and detect the neutrinos. And when the first of these detectors came online, lo and behold, they did not detect as many neutrinos as had been predicted. And some people thought that that might indicate that the sun was perhaps going out or was not producing as much energy in the center as it should have. And that's the basis for this story, that although it would take a couple of 100,000 years, the sun would go out if the fusion stopped in the center, and so and of course then we would all die. And so the basis of this story is to try and restart the energy production in the sun. I've only got a couple quick things to say about that. First is that this problem has been solved, and it was solved. The sun is in fact producing the neutrinos that it should, and therefore its energy production is as predicted, so everything's fine. But it resulted in a major discovery in physics, which was neutrino oscillations, that neutrinos produced in the sun were changing into different kinds of neutrinos while they were flying to us. And so we were looking for the wrong kind of neutrinos, which was an amazing thing. The second thing is that they actually try to fly into the sun. And you'll remember in the story Proof, where the aliens were living in the sun, they were only able to do that because they lived in ships that were made out of neutron star matter, the most dense material known in the universe, and that was protecting them. In this story, somehow his ship is basically a big mirror which is reflecting all the radiation, okay, but it's still not going to protect him from the tremendous pressure that's going to be in the sun. And so I believe his ship would be crushed long before he got to the center.
Well, we still need that idea for the story to work, and we'll be talking about it more in the blog. Enjoy reading The Weather and the Sun.